Welcome back to St. Louis. Moments ago, the coin toss, which the Rams won incidentally, but the story was Isaac Bruce coming out as an honorary captain today to the cheers of Bruce, sounding more like a Springsteen concert than a Rams 49ers game, but we know why, as Isaac Bruce is making a likely NFL farewell today. Mike Singletary, first full season at the helm with the 49ers, and told us during the week, Ross, that the noticeable difference, the progress, has been the expectation to win in San Francisco, something that Steve Spagnuolo in his first season is still working on with the Rams.
And as I mentioned, Coach Spagnuolo feels like the foundation's been built. You talk with other players and coaches, they're excited about next year, but nobody's really going to believe that until they actually start winning more games. I think that's the realization everyone has. They got to get better results on the field.
Shane Andrus is set to kick things off, and folks watching in the San Francisco Bay Area and all over the world today might say, Shane Andrus, what about Joe Nedney? And what about the guy that replaced Joe Nedney, Ricky Schmidt? Both injured. We'll talk about Andrus as we get going. Signed during the week. So the newest of 49ers will start week 17 in St. Louis as we are underway at the Edward Jones Dome. Danny Amendola is set to take the kick back at the Rams 10, and he breaks it up past the 30. So St. Louis will start the day with good field position for their rookie quarterback, Keith Null.
Null's a Division II player, West Texas A&M. Ryan Leaf was actually his quarterback coach. This is his fourth start. He has thrown a touchdown pass in each one of his games so far, but you look at that big number, 9 interceptions. Obviously, very difficult to win when you're doing that.
Null 20 of 31 with 171 passing yards, a touchdown, and 3 picks at Arizona in week 16. 3 wide receiver set starts the afternoon for St. Louis. Steven Jackson in the backfield with Null, healthy for the time being. And we'll talk a lot about Jackson today. He's the ball carrier on 1st and 10 as he takes it to the left side for a gain of 2. On cue, we'll take a look at the Rams offensive lineup, and the mystery involving week 17, Ross, was whether or not Jackson would play. He is in fact out there this afternoon.
He is, and their offense is completely different whether or not Steven is in the backfield for this football team.
The NFL's second leading rusher, the lone back with Null, and we've got a flag and a false start on the Rams.
5-yard penalty is still second down.
We hear from official Mike Carey for the first time this afternoon as Jackson himself is guilty of the false start.
Maybe he's a little rusty after the week off last week against Arizona. You can just see Steven just moved a little bit, little anxious. Spagnuolo does not like to have those type of penalties to start the game. 2nd and 13 is not where you want to be.
Null out of the shotgun on 2nd and 13, and his pass is complete to Brandon Gibson, who is wrapped up past the 35-yard line by Michael Lewis, a gain of 7 yards. We take a look at the San Francisco defense, very stout against the run of Brea Franklin, one of the guys that leads that charge.
The guy that pops off the film to me, Matt, when you watch him is the safety, number 38, Deshaun Goldson. That guy comes to hit with an unusual ferocity. He's got a bunch of nicknames. We'll get into that later.
Rookie 7th rounder out of Texas, Chris Obanaya, checks into the backfield in place of Steven Jackson now on 3rd and 6. Null out of the shotgun once again. Miscommunication. He can't handle the snap, and he's dropped for a big loss. Well, that's easy pickings for a guy like Ahmad Brooks, who's had such a fine year. We do have flags on the field, however.
Offside, defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, it remains 3rd down.
And that's why it's such easy pickings.
Ahmad Brooks a little too anxious. He's up there at the top of your screen. You can see him go in there and just a little too early on that one. He's been having some big games the last couple of weeks. I think he's just a little bit too anxious to start this one.
Boy, the Rams really catch a break now as Steven Jackson will check back in. It makes it 3rd and a very attainable 1 for St. Louis here on their opening possession. Brandon Gibson in motion, and the hand is to Jackson. And this is going to be very close. It looks like the 49ers have stopped Jackson shy of the 1st down marker. Deshaun Goldson among those to make the hit as he comes in from the safety spot along with Patrick Willis.
This Niners defensive line is just so stout up front. There was absolutely no movement at the point of attack. Every guy man on man pushing him back. Then Jackson bounces outside. Boom. Patrick Willis and Deshaun Goldson both right there to stop him short.
Again, the yellow line is unofficial, but it does look like the Rams are shy by perhaps a half a yard of a first down. You know, let's talk about the San Francisco run defense, Russ, while we have a moment. It's really been quite a turnaround, and of course Mike Singletary, a guy who has preached the stout run defense throughout his playing and now coaching career. The San Francisco D has been on the field for more series than any other defense in the NFL, yet they continue to hold up very well against the run.
And the stat I look at is yards per carry. They're only giving up 3.7 yards per carry. That's third in the NFL, but they're going to have to be especially stout here. Looks like the Rams are going to go on 4th and inches.
The St. Louis offense has, in fact, the worst 4th down conversion percentage in the NFL, just 9 of 26. It's a 2 tight end set on 4th and less than a yard. To no surprise, it's Jackson who has that half yard, good for a first down.
Jackson and Knoll kind of bumped into each other in the backfield. That wasn't exactly what you would call a smooth handoff. Watch Jackson right here. He's going to take this little bit of a trap play, and he runs right into Knoll. You can tell that Steven maybe didn't get a whole lot of practice time this week. Folks, that is not the way it's supposed to look, but it's a first down, and the Rams will take it.
So now on 1st and 10, a 3-receiver set for the Rams, having converted on 4th and inches.
Blue 10. Blue 10.
Play action. Null looking down the middle of the field, lets it fly high, wide of the intended target, intended for Danny Amendola.
But Justin Smith making his 139th start for the San Francisco 49ers. You'd see Michael Lewis was on the coverage, but Keith Knoll had to scramble. Justin Smith working right there against number 62, Roger Allen. He beats the rookie. Knoll does a good job of stepping up, unable to connect over the middle to Amendola.
It's a matchup worth watching today, as Allen will in fact have his hands full with Justin Smith, a Missouri native. So 2nd and 10 now for Null and the Rams offense as a block is picked up. Null is flushed out, and his pass is incomplete. Tried to get it to Donnie Avery on the sideline.
One of the things I love about Steven Jackson, he's not just a runner. He's not just a receiver out of the backfield. He's also a blocker. Watch him right here in blitz pickup. This is a big part about being a running back in the National. Boom, he takes 2. He hits Sopoaga, who runs right into Takeo Spikes. Love that unselfish play by Jackson.
So the Rams will try to convert on 3rd and 10 now. Their 3rd down conversion percentage just over 34%. That ranks them 25th in the NFL. Chris Ogbonnaya checks into the backfield for Jackson. Here's Null out of the shotgun to pick up the blitz, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Brandon Gibson.
There was nobody there for Null. He couldn't find anyone. The Niners brought Terrell Brown, the corner, late off the edge, and by the time Brown got there, Null realized he needed to just throw that one away. But that's a good move. When you're a rookie quarterback, learning to throw the football away is something that you can build on.
Arnaz Battle is deep to return the Donnie Jones punt. Jones enjoying a very good year for the Rams. His net punting average 3rd best in the NFL. Arnaz Battle wants nothing to do with this one. Trickles out of bounds at the 21. 49ers go to work offensively for the first time this afternoon, and the 37-year-old future Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce is on the field to start this first possession for San Francisco. Remains to be seen how much he'll play today, as the first down carry by Frank Gore nets a couple of yards for the 49ers.
I think, judging by that reaction right there, Matt, that might be his only play. Because otherwise, that's going to be pretty difficult to do every play for the rest of the game.
It looks like that helmet's coming off. Isaac Bruce, at the age of 37, has been dealing with ankle injuries much of the season, and that might be his farewell to the league in which he has flourished for these past 15+ years. So 2nd and 8 as we'll get back to Isaac Bruce a little later on in the telecast. Alex Smith flares it out to the right side, and the pass is caught by Josh Morgan, knocked out of bounds around the 30. Well, Alex 3-1 in his career against the Rams, Ross, and he has enjoyed a career year, 17 touchdown passes despite starting only 9 games.
And Mike Singletary believes that he is the quarterback of the future for this franchise. He realizes, though, that there are still some doubts and some questions out there. He's really hoping that Alex takes the bull by the horns and plays his best game today to answer all those critics.
1st and 10 for San Francisco from their own 33. Smith with another short completion. That's caught by Delaney Walker, the tight end, out in the flat. As we take a look at the rest of the offense for San Francisco, of course, Frank Gore and Vernon Davis get the headlines. Pretty good supporting cast for those guys as well, and one that the Niners hope gets even better with the likes of young Michael Crabtree.
At left tackle, Barry Sims getting the start again. Joe Staley is inactive. He can't go as a result of that knee injury, but Sims has been very solid, if not spectacular, filling in at left tackle.
2 tight ends set for San Francisco now on 2nd and 9. And this is Gore with a hole between the tackles up to the 40-yard line. Well, the Rams defensively have had their problems. Only Detroit has allowed more points. The secondary in particular has been nicked up all year.
But they do have young players making plays like Chris Long and James Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker. He's going to be only the 2nd rookie in franchise history to lead this team in tackles for a season.
3rd and 4 now. San Francisco on 3rd down, converting just over 30%. Only 4 teams have struggled more in 3rd down conversion tries. Smith out of the shotgun. Steps up to avoid the pass rush and decides to keep it himself, sliding safely at the 45 for a Niner 1st down. Going to measure for that 1st down, and it looks like Alex Smith indeed has it.
That play is just an indication of the maturity of Alex Smith. Using his athleticism, using his legs to get the 1st down. Those are the type of things, the small signs that they want to continue to see. Knowing when to throw the ball away, knowing when to check it down, knowing when to run and get 1st down yardage. That's the evolution of a quarterback in the National Football League.
Alex Smith told us during the week, and we know this to be true of his game, he likes to move the pocket. He likes to run the boot. He likes to make his feet go. Something he hopes to do a little bit more of here. This is Frank Gore going for a 1st down carry. Craig Dahl makes the stop in the secondary before a gain of 11 yards.
This is the bread and butter. Watch the right guard, Shiloh Rachel. Watch him pull, and he's going to go up into the hole and get a block right there. Look at that hole. Matt, I think you could probably get pretty decent yardage up that hole.
Let's not get carried away.
No, I mean, I think I could have probably gotten 5 or 6. That is the best running play that the Niners have in their arsenal. It's a power play where they pull one of the guards, either Rachel or Boz, and have Gore hit it downhill.
So 1st and 10, San Francisco into Rams territory. They go back to Gore between the tackles as that hole is plugged on this occasion, a gain of maybe a yard. You know, something that I find interesting, Russ, and we asked Alex Smith about this during the week, is that the 49ers are one of only 2 teams in the NFL without a touchdown in their opening possession. Doesn't happen very often. And the 49ers with a better offensive attack this year. Vernon Davis, a Pro Bowler, one of those 2 teams that hasn't scored in their first try.
You kind of stumped Alex when you brought that one up. He didn't really have an answer for it, and I joked that maybe Jimmy Ray's a better play caller than he is a scripter, because typically your first 10 to 15 plays are scripted the night before.
2nd and 9. Smith out of the shotgun, and that one's batted away, almost intercepted. Boy, Ron Bartell had very good coverage on Michael Crabtree.
There haven't been a lot of highlights for the Rams defensively, but Ron Bartell has been one of them. Watch him just stay with Michael Crabtree. Very physical, a lot of contact. But Bartell by now is a wily vet. He knows exactly what you can get away with and what you can't. You can't get much better coverage than that.
So 3rd down and 9. This will be the 9th play of the drive for San Francisco. All kinds of blitzers. They're picked up as the pass is caught by Vernon Davis. Shy of a 1st down, however, as he's marked out of bounds at the Ram 41, a gain of only 4.
Alex thought he'd get some pass rush. Here's Chris Long, who's been a lot better as the season goes on. They come with the pressure. He's able to get around Barry Sims and hurry the throw by Smith.
Justin King came on a corner blitz to really disrupt what play that may have been, as Andy Lee is on to punt it away to Danny Amendola. Lee trying to pin it inside the 10 and will do so successfully. Well, the Rams will go to back to work rather for their 2nd offensive possession of the afternoon, and they will do so backed up to the goal line. They'll take over here at the half-yard line and start things in a 2 tight end set. As you take a look at Keith Null's collegiate numbers from West Texas A&M. And the rookie 6th rounder hands it off for no gain up the middle. Justin Smith is there to plug that hole.
It's interesting, Keith Null's quarterback coach, we said earlier in the broadcast, Ryan Leaf. And he said Ryan Leaf was an excellent coach, really helped to get him to where he is now. I mean, 6th round pick, West Texas A&M, starting in the National Football League.
And perhaps auditioning here in week 17 for a roster spot in 2010. There was some subject of discussion whether it would be Null or Kyle Boulder to start here this one. They run the play action from the end zone. Null's got to make a break for it and slides at the 5, a gain of 3.
I like that decision right there by Keith Null. He's got 9 interceptions in his first 3 starts. Now would not be the time to get number 10. Nothing's there. Pat Sherman, the offensive coordinator, showing some confidence in him, so Null tucks it away and at least gives the Rams some breathing room and makes 3rd down somewhat manageable.
So on 3rd and 6 now, Kenneth Darby will check into the backfield. Darby made his first career start last Sunday in the absence of Steven Jackson. He and Obanaya did a lot of ball carrying in week 16 that is. Null's got to make a break for it again, and he is tackled at the 6-yard line. Paris Harrelson making the stop for San Francisco after a gain of 2.
The good news is Keith Null didn't throw an interception. The bad news is evidently nobody's open, and that's a problem. You got a young quarterback like that, Matt. These receivers have to help him out. That's 2 plays in a row where he couldn't find anybody to throw the football to.
It's been one of the biggest problems for the Rams this season. Not a lot of separation between receivers and defensive backs. Very young receiving core, and not the group that St. Louis thought they'd be playing with in week 17. Arnaz Battle at the 30. Cuts it upfield at the 40-yard line, and that's where he has stopped. Ball comes out.
Battle had the ball ripped out just as he was about to go down. Some of the Rams defenders were holding him up. That's how they teach it, so somebody else can come in and rip it away.
Donnie Jones uncorks a 62-yard punt. The Rams are indicating that they have the football as the officials try to sort this melee out. And it looks like Arnaz Battle got it back. The Rams go 3 and out in their 2nd possession of the afternoon. 4:21 left in the opening quarter, and you see a new look for Vernon Davis.
He's got to get a new headshot. The dreads are gone.
He has had a terrific season, a Pro Bowler for the first time in his career. Smith back to throw it on 1st down, and down he goes. James Laurinaitis, who has been one of the few bright spots for the Rams on defense this season.
You can see early on in this ball game, the Rams are coming with pressure. Look at James Laurinaitis. He's going to go to his left side right off of Vabora's butt, and that's exactly how they teach it. The Niners had only given up, Matt, 6 sacks in the last 5 games, but they're getting to Alex Smith early today.
James Laurinaitis on the verge of becoming just the 2nd Rams rookie to lead the team in tackles. So now second and a long 18 for Smith and the 49ers. They'll hand it off to Frank Gore. He gets some of that back up across the 35. 3rd and 15 here for San Francisco. And Smith's pass is complete at the 31-yard line. No gain on the play. In fact, a loss of 5. It's Lige Douzable that makes the stop, and the 49ers will have to punt it away after a 3-and-out.
They tried to go to the screen pass with Vernon Davis, but there was absolutely nothing there. That was all predicated and started by the sack on first down. You get sacked and lose 8 yards on first down like that, going to be very difficult to get a first.
Andy Lee on to punt it away to Danny Amendola. It's a short punt, and Amendola's wrapped up, breaks a tackle, and then stumbles at the 32-yard line. Well, Curt Menefee mentioned a moment ago how complicated the AFC playoff picture is. It gets down to this for teams like the Broncos and Jets, and we'll go back to that in a moment as the Rams hand it off to Jackson on first down. He's got 5 yards up to the 36. Again, the Jets and the Ravens, if they win it, they're in it. It's a little more complicated for other teams, and such as we talked about the Miami Dolphins. They've got to win. They need the Jets to lose. They need Baltimore to lose. They need Houston to lose and Jacksonville to lose or tie. I mean, this could get hairy. We'll know more in about 2 hours from now, Russ.
Yeah, I stopped listening after the Ravens and Jets are in if they win.
The play fake is Null, looks for an open receiver, and again, just no separation downfield. He's got to take it out of bounds at the 36. That'll be scored officially as a sack as Null loses a yard. In the NFC, things are a little more clear. In fact, the teams that are in are just playing for seeding position here in week 17.
When I look at those 6 teams, Matt, I really believe any one of them can go to the Super Bowl. All of them have the talent to get there. I can't say the same about the 6 teams that'll be in the playoffs on the AFC side.
Chris Ogbonnaya checks in for Steven Jackson now. And on third down, Null is wrapped up. Sacked in back-to-back plays. Paris Harrelson among those that'll get credit for that last sack, a loss of 6.
Once again, though, Justin Smith right there working against the rookie Roger Allen. He just knocks his hands down, goes right by him, and is able to get all over Keith Null. I thought this would be a tough first start for Roger Allen, the former Division II player who's now an undrafted rookie, and it will be. Justin Smith is no joke.
So Arnaz Battle is deep once again to receive the Donnie Jones punt. And he'll wave this one off. It'll take a Rams bounce, and we do have a flag down on the punt.
During the kick, holding for the receiving team number 55. 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down.
So after the penalty on the punt, the 49ers take over at their own 10-yard line. Davis in motion on 1st and 10 as they hand it off to Frank Gore, who has maybe a yard before the pile pushes him back to the line of scrimmage. You know, Vernon Davis is a guy whose transformation, Russ, really surprised some, because early in his career he was 2+ years into his NFL life when people were calling him a bust. He looked mechanical on tape. He was unsure of himself as a route runner, but boy, that light bulb went on, and of course Mike Singletary and his staff being given a lot of credit for Davis and his emergence. And this running play is busted, going nowhere by James Hall, and that's how the first quarter will end. 3rd and 10 for San Francisco as the second quarter gets underway from St. Louis. Alex Smith's pass to Frank Gore is batted away. Chris Long also enjoying a fine afternoon so far. He and James Laurinaitis off to strong starts for that young Ram D.
Chris Long working against Barry Sims again. Actually working against Frank Gore because they're running the screen. Good awareness by Long and athleticism to get his big paw on it.
Well, that first quarter marked, if for nothing else, Ross, than for lack of offense. 44 combined yards between the Rams and 49ers. It's a high Andy Lee punt that Danny Amendola calls for fair catch on. Well, the Rams will go to work with the best field position enjoyed by either team so far. They'll start this possession on the San Francisco 48. 1st and 10 for Keith Null and the Rams. He runs the play fake and is hit. Sacked at the 45-yard line by Demetric Evans, and that really encapsulates what we've seen so far this afternoon.
Demetric Evans, a former teammate of mine with both the Cowboys and the Redskins. He's working right there. You'll see him working against Roger Allen, the rookie, again. And oh man, I'm starting to feel bad for Roger Allen.
That is 3 straight plays that have resulted in sacks by the St. Louis offense, and those numbers tell the story in a scoreless tie here in the second quarter. Chris Ogbonnaya splits wide now as Kenneth Darby is the lone back with Null. They swing a pass out to Donnie Avery, trying very much just to get it into the hands of one of their 2 playmakers.
Getting back to Roger Allen, man, I know what it's like to start your first game in the National Football League. There's nerves involved. But the saying is, you can have a bad play, you can't have a bad day. And Roger's already had several bad plays today. He's got to almost be like a corner. You know, have a short memory, get rid of it so he can play well the rest of the day.
Got a whistle on the field and a player limping off the field. It's Shante Spencer. And what is already a secondary decimated by 49er injuries.
They're going to bring in Reggie Smith, but if they lose Spencer for any extended period, that would be a problem. He has been their most consistent corner all season long. As defensive coordinator Greg Minuski told us during the week, he just does his job. He just does what's asked of him. And sometimes if you have a good scheme like this, that's enough. That's plenty.
Looks like they're attending to his knee, and it was in fact a knee injury that really limited him in 2008. So Marcus Hudson comes on the field in place of Shante Spencer, and it's 3rd and long once again for St. Louis. And Null's pass is incomplete, not communicating very well with Donnie Avery.
That's just a quarterback and a wide receiver not being on the same page. And the second quarter is starting to look a lot like the first quarter did in terms of the futility. You see Keith Null under pressure so far. That you kind of expected that. What I haven't expected coming into this one, Matt, is how badly the Niners have struggled offensively.
Well, 3 straight 3-and-out series by the Rams, and it puts Donnie Jones on the field again. He'll punt this away from the 36-yard line as Arnaz Battle has been just as busy, and that'll bounce into the end zone. Well, 40 yards of offense so far as we are at the 13:21 mark here in the second quarter. Back alongside Ross Tucker, Matt Vasgersian in St. Louis. And this Week 17 finale has taken a serious scoring stall. Smith with a quick pass caught by Michael Crabtree, who is down just at the first down marker. Justin King had the coverage. It is indeed a first down for San Francisco.
King is up playing bump and run with Crabtree. That's a great job by Crabtree getting off the line of scrimmage. That's the whole key there. They're going to come up and bump you. You just got to get off the line of scrimmage cleanly like Crabtree did. I also like Alex Smith getting rid of the ball quickly out there to number 15.
Michael Crabtree averaging almost 57 receiving yards a game, second among NFL rookies. Smith avoiding a blitzer and can't avoid the reach of Craig Dahl, who came in on a safety blitz starting for O.J. Itagwe, and he comes up with a big play for St. Louis.
The Niners have seen a lot of pressure the last couple weeks against Philadelphia and Detroit, and the Rams are coming with some more pressure of their own. The second time today, they've had a guy come scot-free at Alex Smith and get him down. Remember, the Niners came into this game only having given up 6 sacks in the last 5 games. That's number 1 in the NFC. So far, not so good today.
But Craig Dahl ran right past Vernon Davis. And there's a little pitch out to Frank Gore, who was tackled at the 25. Chris Long motivated in week 17. Something he told us yesterday, the fact that you never don't have a reason to compete.
Take a look at Chris Long right here, fighting off the down block by Vernon Davis. Great job with his hand usage. And Matt, he's been doing this the last 8 weeks. He's got 5 sacks all in the last 8 games. He is really starting to come into his own. He told us yesterday that he's just letting it loose a little bit more. He's a little bit more comfortable. He's finally figured it out. The light bulb has gone on.
Glenn Coffey in the backfield with Smith. And on 3rd and long, we've got a flag. Might not have gotten that off in time.
Delay. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That is on the quarterback, and it's not acceptable. It doesn't matter how long it took for the play call to come in. Alex always has to have his eyes on that play clock. It's not noisy enough in here where they have to do silent cadence or anything of that ilk. Alex has to see that and call timeout.
3rd and 22 now for San Francisco. They'll hand it off, and it's Coffey who breaks it up to the 30-yard line. A gain of 9, far short of a first down before James Laurinaitis can make the tackle, and the 49ers will punt it away again.
Yet another safe play call on 3rd and long for the Niners. The problem is they keep getting themselves into these 3rd and extraordinarily long situations. So they go with the screens or the draws. That's just not going to get it done. The Niners offense has not come to play so far today.
San Francisco is really letting the Rams hang around in this game as Stanley Amendola takes the punt at the 15 and tries to get around the corner. No such luck as he's tackled at the 17. And it's good to see Shante Spencer back on the field, and we're told it was an ankle that the training staff attended to. They retaped him, and he is good to go. So the Rams take over. Backed up inside the 20. Steven Jackson, the lone back, with Mike Carney, that is, the fullback, and he's the ball carrier who dances for a gain of a couple before being stopped by Takeo Spikes and Paris Harrelson.
I mentioned earlier, Matt, that I kind of felt bad for Roger Allen in his first start. He's struggling so far today. I always feel bad for Steven Jackson being on this St. Louis Rams team. I mean, sometimes it seems like he's a lone soldier out there. He is still underrated. As much as the fantasy people love Steven because the numbers he puts up, he's a lone soldier a lot of times out there.
Blue, 80 blue.
2nd and 10, no gain credited to Jackson on that carry. Null looking for a target. Again, everybody covered. And he goes down. Justin Smith and Isaac Sapoaga make the stop.
Same story that we've seen earlier. I guess this time we'll just give credit to the Niners DBs again for great coverage. But the Rams have to come up with something different. They got to find somebody that can get open.
There's an injured 49er on the play, and Manny Lawson is down after that last play, at least able to sit up. You know, getting back to what's happening with the Rams, and it affects the entire offense, clearly, obviously. The fact that they have had nothing resembling continuity on that offensive line for 3+ seasons now, and it to your point, amazing that Steven Jackson's been able to do what he's been able to do. Well, on 3rd and 9, Manny Lawson comes off the field. He was able to walk off under his own power.
He took one heck of a shot. Watch him and Justin Smith collide heads. You can see Justin Smith's head pop up. At a minimum, Manny got his bell rung right there.
So Ahmad Brooks will slide over and line up for Lawson in that hybrid linebacker spot. And 3rd and 9 for the Rams. Flags on the field.
Offense, number 84.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Randy McMichael, the veteran tight end, guilty of the false start.
You can live with some of the young guys, maybe the wide receivers like Amendola or Gibson, or a guy like Roger Allen going off sides, but Randy McMichael, for a veteran like that to make that move, it's just not okay, because you got to have guys like that. The Alex Barons, the Randy McMichaels, those are the guys they have to be able to count on.
So now a 3rd and 14 in a 3-receiver set. Chris Ogbonnaya, the ball carrier, just past the 20. We've seen 3rd and longs now by both teams, Ross, and nobody's taken a shot as the Rams fall to 0-6 in 3rd down conversion attempts today.
We may set a record for draws and screens on 3rd and 10+ today. It's probably been 5 or 6 series have ended with a draw or a screen on 3rd and super long. And it starts on 1st and 2nd down.
Well, Donnie Jones, one of the busiest men on the field today, along with Andy Lee. He'll punt it away for the Rams. A high kick. Arnaz Battle back to the 25, looking for a corner. He gets around 2 tacklers and is able to bring it back to the 25-yard line before Jordan Kent makes the stop on special teams. Another flag.
I believe this is going to be a hold on the 49ers, or else maybe not allowing the gunner to get back onto the field.
Mike Carey.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding against the kick receiving team, number 24, and illegal man out of bounds on the kicking team. There's an option on the play that will get San Francisco's options.
You can see the hold by Michael Robinson right there. They're going to call that every time. Michael Robinson's right hand yanked down David Roach.
So in a scoreless game,
San Francisco is elected to replay the down, 4th down.
well, they will punt it again. So, I mean, what should we have expected something different today, Ross, is my question to you. This has not exactly been the most scintillating game. It has not exactly been cleanly played. The Rams have struggled like this for the better part of the last 3 years. Back to your point, the surprising part here is that the 49ers have just come to St. Louis and stalled in their attempt to get to 500 so far.
Well, their defense is playing great. It's the offense that's been thoroughly disappointing. This is not the game they wanted to have to head into the offseason. They want to get to 8-8, and they wanted Alex Smith to have his best game. So far, that is clearly not happening in this one.
Mike Singletary told us during the week that his offseason begins as soon as the 49ers get on the plane and head back to San Francisco today. He's not going to be looking at film. He's not going to be evaluating. He's already done his evaluating. So Donnie Jones will punt it away once more as the 49ers opted for the 2nd kick. And it's one very similar. In fact, Arnaz Battle calls for the fair catch in the exact same spot on the field where the 49ers would have taken over the first time. More flags on the field.
Preliminary signal by Mike Carey was a hold against the St. Louis Rams, so they're going to likely kick this one again.
Holding, offense number 50. San Francisco's elected to take it at the previous spot. Half the distance to the goal, still 4th down.
Donnie Jones is getting a lot of work in today.
Not only him, though, Matt. How about the guys on the punt team? They're going to have to sprint 50 yards down the field for a 3rd straight time. That is not a good thing. You can see these guys are absolutely gassed. Even in practice, you only do 2 of those in a row. You don't do 3. Look at Larry Grant. He's dying. Get ready for a return by Arnaz Battle right here, because these guys are gassed. 3 in a row to try to evade the guy that's blocking you and then sprint 50 yards. I don't think I've ever seen 3 punts in a row.
It's a bad draw to be on the punt team right now. So Jones will kick it away for a 3rd time. So Battle sets up to receive at the 40, and this is a much shorter punt. Battle is past midfield, and guess what, America? There's another flag down. Just a 42-yard punt that time by Donnie Jones.
Good hustle by Dahl to make that play after being so tired. Mike Carey's tired.
Make him kick it again, Mike.
Illegal man out of bounds on a kick by the kicking team. San Francisco is elected to take the ball at the dead ball spot, 5 yards, first down.
Wow. So the 49ers start this one with their best position of the afternoon. Frank Gore weaving across the 40-yard line before being tackled by Chris Long. A gain of 5 on first down.
Good patience that time by Frank Gore, waiting for his blockers to let things develop in front of him. 4.8 yards a carry is the number that jumps out to me. In fact, when I look at a guy, Matt, with 4.8 yards a carry, my question would be, why don't you give him the ball more? If he's getting almost 5 yards a pop, he should probably be getting the ball a little bit more often.
Last week against Detroit, Frank Gore went over 1,000 yards for the 4th consecutive season, becoming the only 49er back to accomplish that. It's a 2 tight end set now on 2nd and 5. It's Gore again. And he picks up maybe 2 up to the 35 of St. Louis.
Clifton Ryan makes the tackle on that one. Number 95 in blue. The Rams defense, give them credit. They've at least come to play today. You know, maybe the offenses haven't, but there's no quit in this Rams defense. As you take a look at Clifton Ryan, he actually leads them with 55 tackles, including 9 tackles for a loss. He leads the D-line.
49ers haven't been much more efficient than the Rams on 3rd down, just 1 for 5. 3rd and short here. Smith looking to pass into the corner. Vernon Davis has it batted away. Well defended again by Justin King.
They had Vernon Davis one-on-one against King. It was a nice throw by Alex Smith. They love going to Davis off of play action. Watch Alex put it out there in front of him. Davis just gets his right hand on it. Almost looked like, watch Justin King have Vernon Davis's left hand right there. It's almost like he had his left arm a little bit because Vernon could not get that up there. The Niners are going now.
San Francisco leaves the offensive unit out there on 4th and 2. Niners 5 of 13 on 4th down this year. Smith to throw it again, and this one's batted away. Intended for Michael Crabtree, and Craig Dahl was there to make the play defensively for St. Louis.
Surprising to me that the Niners elected to throw the ball in a straight drop back. You take a look at Michael Crabtree working against Justin King, comes over the middle. Nice job by Dahl to just make enough contact so that Crabtree can't haul that one in.
Well, it's a Rams defense that ranks 24th against the pass, and a couple of big plays defensively there to prevent the 49ers from converting. So Null and the Rams offense takes over at the 35, and this is Steven Jackson for a gain of 5 on first down. Paris Harrelson makes the stop for the 49ers.
That is something the Rams can build on. If they can get 5 yards on first down with Steven Jackson, then they can get Keith Null into manageable down and distance situations on 2nd and 3rd down.
2 tight ends on 2nd and 5 now. Null back to throw it. Here comes the pass rush, and that one's incomplete. Ahmad Brooks came up pretty free to the quarterback that time.
Ahmad Brooks is a guy that's really come on as of late. Take a look at him at the top of the screen. This guy's been a middle linebacker, an inside linebacker almost his whole career. This is the first time they've actually had him rushing the passer, and he has shown to be very proficient at it. 6 sacks on the year. He leads the 49ers.
Former UT standout Chris Ogbonnaya in the backfield now on 3rd down. 3rd and 5 for the Rams, trying to convert their first 3rd down opportunity. They do so with Donnie Avery. First down, St. Louis, up to the San Francisco 40.
That's the type of throw that Keith Null can make, as you see Donnie Avery working against Terrell Brown. Just a little shake off the line of scrimmage, and Null fires in a laser right there.
But for Donnie Avery now, 66 of his 98 career receptions have meant either a first down or a touchdown for the Rams. He's one of their few real impact guys on offense. Steven Jackson back on the field now. It's the former 49er Billy Badgma in motion, and Jackson, the ball carrier, gets away from Ahmad Brooks and slips up to the 36 before being stopped by Patrick Willis, a gain of 4.
Good patience there by Steven Jackson. A lot of times young runners, when they come in the National Football League, they don't realize you need to let things develop in front of you before you actually pick your hole and go with it. That time he waited and kind of baited for Ahmad Brooks to come inside before he went outside around the right tackle, Adam Goldberg. And it looks like Donnie Avery was shaken up on that last play.
2nd and 6 now. Null loses his footing as he drops back, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for the former Packer Revell Martin. And we have a player down for the Rams as well. An offensive line that's already beat up, and it's Roger Allen, the undrafted rookie at a Division II Missouri Western State, and a guy who's had his hands full all day.
Working at left guard right there. Take a look at Allen. We'll see what happens. Just going against Justin Smith. Takes on Patrick Willis. Not a whole lot of contact right there. It looked like his left knee just went on him. You could see him pick it up right away. Watch him grab his leg at the end of it right there. That does not look good.
You know, Roger Allen is playing today, starting today, in place of Mark Setterstrom, who suffered a triceps injury. I mean, there's not a whole lot of depth left on that Rams line.
I can see right now Adam Goldberg, the starting right tackle, he's working out of a left-handed stance as if he might go in at the left guard position. They might bring in Phil Trautwein, the undrafted rookie right tackle from Florida, to take Goldberg's spot at right tackle.
Well, so Roger Allen making his first NFL start, being escorted off the field, and we'll see how this line shifts and adjusts.
They will do that. They're going to put Adam Goldberg, the veteran. Here's a guy that started at 4 different positions last year in 2008 for the Rams. So all week at practice he works at right tackle. Now after one play he's at left guard, and undrafted rookie right tackle Phil Trautwein is at right tackle.
3rd and 6, and Null's pass is almost intercepted. Boy, threw Danny Amendola, the intended target, and it was right in the hands of the veteran corner Dre Bly.
Null got rid of it early, but Bly was right there to make the play. Actually, I think it might have been Deshaun Goldson, number 38. Watch Goldson come in, number 38, right there, right as the ball arrives. And Goldson's been making those type of plays all year. 4 picks, 3 forced fumbles. He is an emerging star for this football team.
This would be a 54-yard field goal for Josh Brown, who connected from 55 earlier this year. Close to his career long. He's got the distance, and the kick is up and good. Points in St. Louis. It took a 54-yard field goal.
Josh Brown has one heck of a leg. We'll take a look at it from the end zone. The ball's going to come right at you. Just enough to get it over. Actually, he probably had 5 or 6 more yards on that one.
His 25th career field goal of 50+ yards, and he's now 6 of 7 from that distance this year alone.
That is an amazing stat.
It's a sad indictment on an offense when you're celebrating your kicker as much as they are in St. Louis here. Not to take anything away from Josh Brown, he's terrific, but that's how badly misfiring this Rams offense has been.
Yeah, but 6 out of 7 over 50, that's impressive. Now he is doing it primarily in a dome, but still.
Now I know, and we've talked about this, Ross, there are Rams fans watching this game today who find themselves in the awkward, unusual position of looking for a negative result at the end of 4 quarters of football. Again, and we're going to talk about this a little later on, there's this matter of draft position. And if the Rams win today, they certainly do not guarantee themselves the first pick in the draft. We'll talk about that equation as we continue. Josh Morgan takes the kick, flags down on the field, and Morgan is down at the 15, tackled by Jonathan Wade.
This will be a block in the back on the 49ers. It almost always is.
Illegal block in the back. Number 57 on the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That is exactly why there are some Rams fans that aren't real eager for their team to win today. They want the #1 pick.
Wow, and I'll tell you what, the boo that you hear in the stands, the Rams have waved off the penalty, which would have marked the 49ers half the distance to the goal. Instead, it's 1st and 10 at the 16.
I don't understand that at all.
Well, 3 minutes 54 seconds left in the half for Alex Smith and the Niners offense to try to get something started, and it's not going to happen on that play. Gore stuffed. And now we're told that the refs picked up the flag. In fact, Mike Carey did the never mind, and so the Rams waved off nothing. So all the scandal theorists can just stop.
I got to tell you, Matt, I'm happy I'm up here with you, because I know one place I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the 49ers locker room at halftime.
It's the first time anybody's ever said that to me, Ross. Thank you.
Well, I'm just telling you, Mike Singletary, I feel pretty confident he's going to get after his crew at the intermission.
2 tight ends on 2nd and 10. Gore with a stutter step and a gain of maybe 2 yards. James Butler makes the stop. But the Rams have had success bringing those safeties up so far in the first half of this football game.
They continue to get 8 guys in the box. This time it's James Butler. You'll see him working right there. He will come down, or I'm sorry, he's at the right of your screen right there. But even Ron Bartel was there as well. They had a couple of defensive backs in on that one. They're geared up to stop the run here.
3rd and 9. Gore and Robinson in the backfield with Alex Smith. Pressure. Alex Smith hit as he throws, and he overthrows Frank Gore. Victor Adeyanju makes the hit that disrupted that pass play. And the Niners go 3 and out again.
Adeyanju right there working against the right tackle, Adam Snyder. He'll use his hands to get Snyder off of him and hit Alex Smith just as he throws it. Adeyanju had a pretty good game last week as well. 5 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, and a fumble recovery in his first start last week against the Arizona Cardinals.
Another injured player on the field as well.
There's never a good time to get injured, Matt, but especially week 17, because the last thing you want is to have some type of injury you're rehabbing the whole offseason.
Marcus Hudson is the injured 49er.
I'm not exactly sure how that happened, because he wasn't out there on 3rd down.
I was thinking the same thing
He's
myself.
a defensive back, so maybe he got hurt running out onto the field for the punt team.
Turf monster.
Wow.
Too early to tell if there's a full moon outside, but this has certainly been played that way. So 4 of the 6 San Francisco possessions have resulted in 3 and outs, and Andy Lee and Donnie Jones have punted for about 7 times more yards than have been accomplished offensively so far. 468 punting yards so far this afternoon for those scoring at home. And if you are scoring at home, we weep for you. Null shoots a little quick pass out to Danny Amendola, who is taken down at the 40-yard line. A gain of 7 as Deshaun Goldson made the hit defensively. A lot of playoff implications in week 17. It's a 3-receiver set. There's a flag down, and Steven Jackson has the corner and a first down should this play not come back.
I think it's going to be offsides against number 98, Paris Harrelson, for the 49ers. He was a little early. The Rams should and likely will decline.
Offside defense, the right end is declined. Play results, first down.
Mike Carey and this officiating crew have really had their hands full this afternoon so far. And in fact, it's a first down for St. Louis. So 1st and 10 St. Louis as they line up without Donnie Avery on the field. And that first down pass is completed to Brandon Gibson. We're told that Avery was shaken up. We saw him on the sideline last series, and his return is questionable here today.
Gibson is one of those young players that has really made plays this season for St. Louis, especially as of late.
They swing it out to him again. Good for a first down and out of bounds at the San Francisco 40. And now they're saying Gibson was out of bounds when he made the reception, so that pass is incomplete.
Gibson has to find a way to get both feet down here. It's a nice throw by Nowell on a quick out. Watch his left, right. I don't know about that one. It looked like when he first caught it, he had his left down, and then he got the right. Remember, under 2 minutes. Left, right. This is one they'll likely challenge upstairs. Under 2 minutes, it's got to be
We'll review the last
review.
play to see if the catch was inbounds or out of bounds.
Well, Gibson certainly made no effort to shorten up that last stride. He was under the mind that he had, in fact, put both feet down.
Watch his left foot right there, right as the ball comes to him, and then he gets the right down. I think he got left and right. Those guys know, Matt. They have a sense about him. If he hadn't gotten the left down right there, he would have made a better effort to get it down the second time, if you catch my drift. I think this one's going to get overturned.
Well, Brandon Gibson made his first career touchdown reception last week in Phoenix, and he was one of the players that was acquired when Will Witherspoon was sent to the Eagles during the season. And he's kind of a one-man band out there. If Donnie Avery is in fact unable to continue, that will deplete an already depleted toolbox for Steve Spagnuolo.
Think about this. Their two receivers right now, Brandon Gibson, Danny Amendola, they were both in training camp with the Philadelphia Eagles this year, and the Rams got both these guys during the season, and now they're their starting wide receivers, especially with Donnie Avery out.
It's been the story with many of the positions for the Rams. Rookie free agents, players who played in smaller college programs, and by the way, good for them for making it to the NFL. That's one of those good news, bad news situations.
Well, like I said to Coach Spagnuolo during the week, the good news is they've got a lot of young guys getting experience, a lot of young guys that are showing themselves to be legitimate NFL players. The bad news is all the guys they have out there, it's a lot of young guys just getting experience. They need more guys like Steven Jackson. They need more established stars.
The receiver had control, got his left foot down, then his right foot for a catch. First down on the 40-yard line.
I could have told him that. We could have saved a lot of time.
Ross Tucker 1 for 1 in official replays in week 17.
I went for it. I was nervous, but I went for it.
So it is a first down for St. Louis at the San Francisco 40. And judging by Josh Brown's work in the last drive, they are nearing Brown field goal territory. With Jackson in the backfield, they hand to him as he weaves inside the 40, a gain of 3.
Interesting play call with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the half that they elected to go with a run.
Both the Rams and 49ers each with a full complement of timeouts left, as you can see. 2nd and 7 now as the Rams continue to hurry it up. Null buying time, and he throws it out of bounds. Just over a minute remaining here in the first half. On 3rd and 7, Null lets it fly for Amendola. Another Rams first down.
Nice job on the blitz pickup again by the Rams offensive line up front, and then Keith Null just snaps it off. He has shown that he has a real live NFL arm. He can make the throws you need to be able to make. All he needs is experience.
4 of 5 on the drive so far. This has been the most impressive drive so far of the afternoon by either team. Inside of a minute remaining. Null out of the shotgun. Jackson right up the middle and tackled at the 20. A gain of 8. Michael Lewis able to make the stop for San Francisco.
That's the type of play you can call when you still have 3 timeouts in your back pocket.
Clock ticking at 40 seconds. And Null throws this one high and away from Amendola, incomplete.
Looked like maybe it slipped out of Keith Noll's hand right there. You can see him kind of rubbing his fingers together after the play. Brings up 3rd and 2.
Well, the Rams 2 of 9 and 3rd down conversions so far in this one. This is 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 yards to go. And Null looks to throw. Down he goes. Justin Smith has had a big day working against a couple of different left tackles as he is able to make the sack for San Francisco.
This time Justin Smith is working against Adam Goldberg at left guard. He'll use his hands to chop Goldberg down and just overpowers him. Not good enough by Adam Goldberg right there, and he's a veteran. He should know better, although it is exceedingly difficult to move from right tackle to left guard in the middle of the game like that. He probably hasn't watched any film of Justin Smith all week long.
Well, the Rams are going to take a timeout here with 2 seconds left before halftime. There was some debate. Keith Null walked off the field rather reluctantly there on 4th down. But Josh Brown and the field goal unit indeed on the field now for St. Louis.
The entire kicking unit, whether it's Donnie Jones punting or Josh Brown kicking, have been some of the bright spots for this Rams team this season.
At halftime, scoring recap will be brief, regardless of what happens here on a 45-yard attempt by Josh Brown. And this time Brown is no good. Good from 54, misses from 45.
That is a tough one right there for the St. Louis Rams. You have your best drive of the day. You get way down there and you come up empty. It's also a break for the 49ers.
Boy, and as if fans in San Francisco or St. Louis needed another reminder, we've certainly come a long way from the days of Montana to Rice and the greatest show on turf. 3-0 at halftime with a total of 142 combined yards in the first half in this Week 17 matchup. And much of that yardage came on that final drive of the half by St. Louis, which at least gets the Rams into the locker room at halftime, despite the missed field goal, with a little better taste in their mouth.
Well, so far, they're playing better today than the 49ers are.
Second half is underway. Josh Morgan, the deep man for San Francisco, trying to get around the corner, picks up a block, another flag on the field. That's been a theme this afternoon as Morgan is finally wrestled out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Well, welcome back to St. Louis alongside Ross Tucker, Matt Vasgersian, and we were both kind of perplexed at the real lack of showing by the San Francisco offense. Only 57 yards in the first half.
Yeah, they got to get Alex Smith going some way, somehow, Matt. Maybe it's more bootlegs, get him outside of the pocket, or get him back in the gun. Maybe he could get some quick passing game. They've had some success earlier this year when Alex Smith works out of the gun, but they better do something because the first half was as bad a performance as the Niners have had all year long.
Vernon Davis not playing a big factor in the first half for the San Francisco 49ers. A Pro Bowler who's enjoyed such a big season. He's 1 touchdown shy of tying Antonio Gates' NFL record for TD receptions in a season by a tight end. But again, Davis has been a non-factor, as has Frank Gore. 12 carries for just 31 yards in the first half. You see Alex Smith's first half numbers. Certainly not awe-inspiring by anybody's standards. So 1st and 10 San Francisco. That flag was picked up, by the way. Second time that's happened this afternoon. The quick pass is complete. And that's Davis, who has it up around the 29, and he's flagged. That's a frustration spike and just more that'll displease Mike Singletary this afternoon.
That is the old Vernon Davis. That's not the new Vernon Davis. He can't make those mistakes.
Delay a game. Offense number 85, throwing the ball into the air. 5-yard penalty. The down counts, second down.
Futility really summarizes the first half. Just a 3-0 game. 10 punts in the first half this afternoon.
Vernon Davis should know better than that. I know he's frustrated, but penalties and sacks are what's been killing this team on offense in the first half. And here they start out the second half with a productive play, and then they're right back where they started because of his miscue.
2nd and 9 now. 2 tight ends on the field. Frank Gore split wide. Smith looks in his direction and dumps it off in the flat. That's Davis once again. Vernon Davis chippy and frustrated out there this afternoon.
Well, we just talked about what the Niners might do here in the second half to get things going offensively. We said either roll out and boot Alex Smith on the perimeter or get in the gun and go to a quick passing game. They have elected to go with the second thing. They are going almost exclusively so far on this drive out of the gun with Alex Smith getting rid of the ball quickly.
You wonder how much politicking Alex Smith himself did in the locker room at halftime to put himself in that situation. And here he is out of the gun again. And this one's incomplete. Vernon Davis hit as he made the catch. James Laurinaitis breaks up the play, and the 49ers start the second half with a 3-and-out.
Good hit by James Laurinaitis, the rookie middle linebacker, but Vernon Davis still has to catch that football. He has been inconsistent with his hands all season long. If he had better hands, he'd probably have 85, 90 catches.
Andy Lee with his 6th punt of the afternoon on to punt it away to Danny Amendola. A short kick, and it checks up and takes a Rams bounce where it settles in at the St. Louis 37-yard line. Good field position for the Rams to start the second half. They'll do so without Donnie Avery, who after being shaken in the first half has been diagnosed with a concussion. He is out for the rest of this one, and there's a flag down.
Offense number 44. 5-yard penalty is still first.
Fullback Mike Carney guilty of the infraction.
Just like I said about Randy McMichael, that's not okay from Mike Carney either. This is his 6th year in the National Football League. It's one thing if the young guys are going to go off sides or make mental errors, but these veterans with the pre-snap penalties will get you beat every time.
Steven Jackson and Kenneth Darby in the backfield now after the penalty, and Null is wrapped up and sacked again. Big Justin Smith, his 3rd of the ball game.
Justin Smith is having a career day. Nobody can block him.
Steven Jackson dancing away from a pile, just trying to get some of that yardage back, and he's moved out of bounds at the 33-yard line by Takeo Spikes. That's a 13-yard pickup after the 11-yard loss.
Steven Jackson has a tendency to bounce things outside, but it's been pretty productive for him when he does so. He's one of those rare running backs in the National Football League that has both elite power and speed.
Spikes comes off the field now on 3rd and 13. By the way, Manny Lawson is on the field for the 49ers. He was shaken up in the first half as well. Chris Obanaya, the lone back with Null, who takes it out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. That's almost picked off. Patrick Willis very close to his 4th INT of the season, and the Rams will have to punt.
Keith Null just got away with one right there. Those are the type of throws that he can't make. He has a tendency as a young player to stare down his receivers. Watch, he telegraphs it all the way, and Patrick Willis has the change of direction skills to make a break on the ball like that. Rams got lucky.
We hate to beat you with the futility numbers, but that's 5 of 7 series by the Rams that have resulted in 3-and-outs. Arnaz Battle back at the 10, moving backwards, trying to get around the corner. And he takes the punt out to the 16-yard line. Well, the rookie guard Roger Allen, who has a lot of friends and family here, having played at Missouri Western State, with an ice pack on his knee, looks like he will not return. But meanwhile, it's the 49ers on offense as Smith starts this drive with a handoff to Frank Gore, who takes it past the 20, a gain of 4 yards.
So far, all 4 snaps here in the second half of the 49ers have been exclusively out of the shotgun. It looks like that's the game plan. That's the mindset heading into the second half as you take a look at 52 first half yards. That is brutal. And there's the ice pack again on Roger Allen.
One of the many uses of saran wrap. Just keep it on there tight, and it does not look good for a return for the young offensive lineman. 2nd and 6 for San Francisco, and again Smith out of the shotgun. The quick pass incomplete. A lot of hair on that ball, intended for Michael Crabtree.
Maybe a little bit too much zip from Alex Smith, but I think Michael Crabtree believes he should catch that ball. He has phenomenal hands. Crabtree will be at the top of your screen as Smith unloads the ball. Nice job by Smith at getting rid of it quickly. Crabtree just couldn't hang on.
The 49ers just 1 of 8 on 3rd down this afternoon. 3rd and 6. Here comes the blitz. Smith's pass is caught by Crabtree for a San Francisco first down.
What a play by both Alex Smith and Michael Crabtree. Michael Crabtree's working against Ron Bartel. Runs him off, comes back on the comeback route, and goes up and gets it. Look at that extension. Tap, tap, gets them both in. And maybe that's the spark the Niners needed to get this offense going.
Boy, and just as impressive the work by Alex Smith. He had James Butler in his face, in the face, as he got rid of that football. So first down for the 49ers. Smith opts for a receiver, a target downfield, as Josh Morgan has it for back-to-back first down receptions. A 16-yard pickup. There were a couple of open white shirts on that play.
It looks like Alex Smith is starting to get into a rhythm. This is a big league throw right here. Little post pattern by Josh Morgan. Alex Smith fires it in there. Alex is on a roll.
A 2 tight end set now on 1st and 10 at the 49er 46. He'll switch it up and hand it to Frank Gore up the middle for another San Francisco first down and more into Rams territory, and finally tackled at the St. Louis 20 by Ron Bartel.
Like I said earlier, this is the Niners' bread and butter play. Watch the left guard, David Boss, pull to the right on the power play. He gets up in the hole, bang! He hits James Laurinaitis, knocks him into Ron Bartel. That's called getting two by David Boz, and Frank Gore does the rest.
A 34-yard rushing play by Frank Gore. That's the longest play from scrimmage so far this afternoon. And a flag is down before the snap.
False start. Offense number 46. 5-yard penalty. Still first.
At Delaney Walker again. Second time they flagged the tight end.
These are the type of penalties, Matt, that you see in the preseason or early in the season. This is week 17. These guys should be in as good a football shape mentally and physically as they have been all season long. Very surprised with all the mental errors and pre-snap penalties.
Hey, Lulu.
So that'll make this a 1st and 15 now from the St. Louis 25. Smith dumps it off to Gore. Yards after the catch. He's still going. First down San Francisco as Gore is tackled inside the 5 by James Butler.
This is one of the things that Frank Gore brings to the table. He's not just a good runner. Take a look at him right there. He will go out on a little check down route. Alex Smith finds him. The cutback right there was the key. Gets behind some of his offensive linemen. Eric Heitman, a great block downfield. And Gore finishes the run strong like he always does.
Well, the 49ers report Tony Raggi tackle eligible here inside the 5-yard line. Glenn Coffey lining up behind Morin Norris. And it's Norris who is tackled with a gain of maybe a yard inside the 5.
Norris does not get the ball often. I'm surprised Frank Gore's not in there. I can see one down to give him a breather. But now on second down, I say you get your lead dog in there.
Second and goal from the 1. Again, Tony Raggi tackle eligible. Same alignment as Coffey lines up behind Norris. And this time it's good for a touchdown. Morin Norris, his first touchdown of the season. And Morin Norris, a guy who's been lead blocking in front of Frank Gore in 2 separate tours of duty with the Niners, his first career touchdown carry.
Just a little inside dive right there. And that is a big man. Nobody wants to try to take down Norris. But that was a little too easy for my liking if I were a Rams fan.
Here's the free agent edition kicker Shane Andrus on for his first point after try.
Shane Andrus, who just kicked that extra point, was signed by the Niners on Friday. He literally drove up here from Nashville yesterday. Take a look at pregame. Andy Lee is used to a left-footed kicker. He had to switch around. Hi, I'm Andy. Hi, I'm Shane. My question for Shane before the game, Matt, was, hey, are you going to get your miles reimbursed for driving up from Nashville? He better. How about that? Have you ever heard of an NFL team before being on a plane? They had no kicker on the plane?
It's all worked out so far. I mean, you know, Ricky Schmidt was signed, and he was such a Cinderella story there for a week until he got hurt. He had his fiance shagging balls and acting as a holder for him, and he's injured and yields to another free agent kicker, Shane Andrus. So after the 49ers get on the board, 7-0 San Francisco, Danny Amendola back to receive the kick at the 1-yard line. And he is upended at the 21. Well, the Rams start at 1st and 10 at their own 21, but they do so without Keith Null under center. It's the veteran quarterback Kyle Boller who takes over here, and his first pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. Well, Kyle Boller played in 6 games during the season, made 4 starts, completed just over 57% of his passes. And we don't know the official status of Keith Null. We know there were a couple of trainers seated next to him a moment ago, and as soon as we get word, we'll pass it along to you.
Kyle Boller's a veteran guy, former first-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens, has all the physical tools, but has just never been able to really put it all together.
7-3 San Francisco. The 49ers with an impressive drive in their last possession to finally crack the scoreboard. Steven Jackson with a gain of maybe 2.
It is not going to be easy to run against this Niners defense, especially when they're in their base 3-4. Your best chance to run against the 49ers is when they go to their nickel package and they bring in guys like number 91 Ray McDonald. When they have the big boys in there like Franklin and Sopoaga, good luck.
San Francisco's rush defense ranked 7th in the NFL. They have been particularly stout in the second half. More on that in a moment. Boller with a little bit of time lets it fly, and just wide of his intended target. Tried to get it to Brandon Gibson. A lot of pressure. Isaac Sopoaga, among others, making it uncomfortable.
Take a look at Ray McDonald right there. He's going through a double team. Just gets that elbow off of John Greco and hits Boller just as he throws it. Actually a pretty decent throw by Boller, given the fact that he was slammed as he was trying to unload it.
The Rams go 3 and out. And Donnie Jones on to punt it away to Arnaz Battle. He'll start the return at the 20. Cut it through a seam. We've got a flag down on the return as Battle is tackled at the 27.
It's going to be an illegal block in the back on number 38, Deshaun Goldson, the starting safety. He mentioned to us during the week he needs to learn how to pick his spots. Well, that time he didn't do a very good job because that was fairly obvious.
There's no flag on the play, although action was legal. First down.
The officials pick up the penalty again for the third time today. Take a look at Deshaun Goldson, the right side of your screen. That's a pretty obvious block in the back right there. I think Steve Spagnuolo, the Rams coach, is still looking for an explanation. And quite frankly, Matt, I'd like to know how 3 separate times. Let's hear what Mike Carey has to say.
Correction, there was a foul for a little block in the back against the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Wow.
I'm thoroughly confused. Raise your hand if you're thoroughly confused.
Hey, you got it right, though.
They threw the penalty, then they picked it up. Steve Spagnuolo should be a lawyer if this head coaching thing doesn't work out, because he got that done during the break.
And you've got a career ahead of you as a replay official. You're like 3 for 3 so far today. So the 49ers are backed up. They begin this possession. Oh, my goodness. Alex just loses the football.
Just slipped right out of his hands. That's some football folly stuff right there. Gets the ball out of the shotgun. He's going to throw a quick out. Wide receiver screen. He just lost it. Sometimes maybe there's some perspiration on the ball, but he just lost it. Niners are fortunate that the ball bounced right back up to him. That could have been disastrous.
They're going to put that on the football follies tape right next to the shot of Gene Washington taking off his helmet and the huge afro and the cork popping noise coming out.
Please set the play clock to 10 seconds. 10 seconds on the play clock, please. Thank you.
Well, neither the Niners nor the Rams are playing real well, so I think maybe the referees wanted to join them today. Make sure they're all on the same page.
So the play clock reset at 10 seconds per Mike Carey. 2nd and 13 after the oops. And Alex Smith has to just throw this one away. Victor Adeyanju making things uncomfortable along with Chris Long.
Once again, Adeyanju picking up where he left off last week. Look at the left side of your screen. He's working against Adam Snyder. Once again, turns the corner. I don't know if he even hit Alex Smith, though, when you take a look at that. If he did, he barely got him.
Chris Long having a big afternoon in week 17, playing very well on that right end for the Rams. Victor Adeyanju on the left end, starting in place of, or playing in place of Leonard Little, who is inactive with a knee. Handed off to Frank Gore again on 3rd and long. Very conservative play calling all afternoon by the 49ers. And San Francisco will punt it away again.
I thought we had gotten away with that. I thought we were done with that. But now we're back to the draws on 3rd and long. I understand that, though. You don't want to have a turnover deep in your own end, especially when you have the lead.
And Andy Lee's punt is a good one. Backs Danny Amendola up to the 30-yard line, where he is quickly tackled at the 35. Another flag on the play. In fact, a set of flags on the punt. This is unbelievable.
During the return, a little block in the back. Receiving team number 57. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So 1st and 10 on the 24, or call it the 26-yard line for St. Louis. A 2 tight end formation here for Kyle Boller. Put the former 49er Billy Badgma in motion and hand it off to Steven Jackson, who has but a couple of yards.
I know he hasn't had a big day, but I can't say enough about Steven Jackson. His toughness. This guy is an absolute warrior. Couldn't play last week. He's got a herniated disc in his back. He told me he even has pain down his leg, but it was this important to him to be with his teammates and try to get this win in what on the surface would appear to be a somewhat meaningless game.
2nd and 8 now for St. Louis. Jackson again tackled at the 30 after he picks up 2 more. Patrick Willis making the stop for San Francisco. Was such a terrific career and under duress for much of it, as we talked about up front, Ross. The fact that the Rams have had no continuity at the offensive line, and players shuffled on and off of the roster in those spots throughout Jackson's tenure makes his numbers even more remarkable.
Not only that, but this season you've had inept quarterback play, and you've got a bunch of first-year players playing wide receiver.
It's Chris Obanai in the backfield with Bowler here. Quick pass out to Danny Amendola, who is tackled shy of the first down by Terrell Brown.
Nice work right there by Brown. Take a look at him. He's right there working against Amendola. He reads it, sees it. He gets knocked down, gets right back up, and makes the play. That is effort. If you get knocked down, you don't stay down. You get back up right away. That's the type of effort play Singletary will appreciate from Brown.
On his battle back deep for San Francisco again. Another good punt by Donnie Jones. Battle takes the kick back at the 16. Again moving backward, trying to find a corner. He gets around the edge and is finally hit at the 31. Well, the 49ers, since the halftime intermission, have almost doubled their yardage from the first half of the football game. 83 yards in the second half so far, and we've still got over 3 minutes left in the third quarter. A season low 52 offensive yards in the first half for San Francisco as Chris Long disrupts another play. Empty backfield here on 2nd and 10 as Frank Gore is split wide. And just before the play clock expires, Smith has the pass caught by Gore at the 35-yard line. A gain of only 2. Jonathan Wade on the coverage for the Rams.
Good, solid open field tackle right there by Jonathan Wade. That is not easy. Wade's a guy that's kind of been in and out of the doghouse this year. And that time, one-on-one against Frank Gore, he took him down.
You know, getting back to Chris Long, and you talked about what a great day he's having here in week 17. When we spoke to Chris during the week, he was decidedly upbeat about not only the direction of the Rams moving forward, but even this matchup. It was refreshing to hear a young player talk that way about a team that's had its struggles. And that pass is caught for a first down by Jason Hill, his first reception of the afternoon.
What I love about Chris Long, what he had to say to us, take a look at him again working against Barry Sims. This time Sims does an adequate job. But I asked Chris, I said, Chris, I've been on some bad teams. What's it like to be on a 1-14 team? Is it hard to get up for the games? He said, absolutely not. He said, the name on the back of my jersey will never change. And every time he comes out here, it's a matter of pride. I love that because he plays that way.
2 tight end set on 1st and 10 now for San Francisco, nearing midfield. Smith with time, big ball into center field, and it's almost intercepted. Intended for Michael Crabtree. Justin King was about an inch away from a pick.
That's just a poorly thrown ball right there by Alex Smith. He needs to throw that ball more to the inside. Michael Crabtree working against Justin King. It's a deep post. Fakes the outside with the stick. That ball needs to be inside of him. He threw it over his outside shoulder. If Alex puts that anywhere towards the hash or towards the middle of the field, that's a likely touchdown.
Second and 10 now. Another 2 tight end set. They'll hand it off to Gore, who has maybe a yard or 2. But Delaney Walker loses his hat, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 7 for San Francisco.
Haven't really called Delaney Walker's name so far today. But the Niners offense has been much better here in the third quarter.
San Francisco 3 of 11 on 3rd down conversions so far today. 3rd and 7 coming up. And that pass is caught shy of the first down marker once again by Jason Hill.
Once again, Alex Smith showcasing his athleticism. It's one of the assets that he has, although he has a strong tendency to roll out to the right, just unable to get the necessary yardage there. The Niners are going to punt it away and continue to try to play the field position game, especially against this St. Louis Rams offense.
You know, the good news for San Francisco is their second half defense has been the stingiest in football. Angling for the corner, and this one will trickle into the end zone for a touchback. Start of the fourth quarter, and though it has been a low scoring affair, still just a one-score game. 7-3 San Francisco alongside Ross Tucker, Matt Vasgersian from St. Louis. In the 2009 season finale, kissed 2009 goodbye on the calendar a few days ago, and the regular season comes to a close after tonight. Bowler running play action, running for his life, and finally throwing it away as Paris Harrelson had him in his crosshairs.
The Rams faked it to Steven Jackson, trying to get Bowler out on the perimeter. Paris Harrelson would have nothing of it. He did not buy that fake whatsoever.
That's that stingy second half defense we spoke of. They allow an average of just 7 points a game after intermission. Three wide receivers now for Bowler and the Rams. And on 2nd and 10, they hand it off to Steven Jackson, and the 49ers smelled that one coming. Deshaun Goldson was there on the hit. Ahmad Brooks.
Goldson didn't make the play, but he timed that up perfectly. Watch him come off the edge right as he times it up. Steven Jackson did well just to make him miss, but by that point all of his momentum was completely stopped. That's the type of player Goldson is. He's been doing that all season long, especially the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Boy, Steven Jackson still competing and clearly aggravated on the sideline. Chris Ogbonnaya on the field now as Bowler looks downfield. Now he takes off. A lot of room to run. He'll slide perhaps a yard shy of a first down. Dre Bly came up to make the final stop for San Francisco.
The Rams are unhappy. They feel like once he gave himself up, he should be fine. Everybody's covered, as you can see, so Bowler elects to run with it. The Rams did not take too kindly to those 2 shots that Bowler took as he slid feet first.
This will be the 9th punt of the game by Donnie Jones. His career high for punts in a game will come in his next. This one takes a St. Louis bounce and trickles inside the 20. All the way down to the 13 to the 12-yard line. Just over 13 minutes of game clock left in the 2009 season for the 49ers and the Rams. San Francisco on top 7-3 as they take over 1st and 10 49ers from their own 13-yard line. Both teams had intentions of finishing strong in what have been disappointing seasons on differing degrees. And this is Frank Gore, who will carry for maybe a gain of a yard or 2, and another hat pops off. So for the Rams, as we talked about this when we opened the telecast, Ross, it was a question of perhaps snapping what has turned into one of the longer home losing streaks in the history of the NFL. But it was a bigger question of win or lose and either get the top pick in the draft or wait for a math equation at the end of the day today.
Yeah, and like I said, I think a lot of Rams fans are hopeful that they'll get the top pick in the draft. But the Rams certainly have not come out here and played like that. They've played hard. Give them credit.
Credit Gore with 2 yards on that last carry. 2nd and 8 now for Smith and the 49ers. Smith's been working out of the shotgun for much of the second half, and that pass caught over the middle by Vernon Davis, shy of a first down.
Take a look at number 55, James Laurinaitis. Calling an audible there, making sure everybody's on the same page. Then he sees Vernon Davis and makes the play. It's one of the things they like about Laurinaitis. As a young player, he's a take charge guy. Prepares extremely well during the week, and that's why he's been so successful in his first campaign.
3 wide receivers set for San Francisco now on 3rd and 3. Smith's pass is juggled at the sideline. It looked like Michael Crabtree had gone up to get it, but he couldn't hang on. And San Francisco will have to punt once again. Ron Bartell had good coverage once again for the Rams.
Excellent coverage. Watch Ron Bartell. Crabtree comes back again on the comeback. Goes up. Watch Ron Bartell. Left hand. Boom. Right there. Rips it out. Ron Bartell again. We said earlier, it bears mentioning again. He has been one of the bright spots on this Rams defense, along with Chris Long and James Laurinaitis.
The 8th 3-and-out possession in 11 possessions by the 49ers today. Danny Amendola around the corner, and he's got a seam down the sideline. Still going, and finally hit out of bounds at the 19 of San Francisco by Ahmad Brooks.
And judging by the roar of the crowd, they don't care about the draft pick. They want to win this game. They're excited about what Danny Amendola did. He's going to go all the way to the outside. They get some good blocks. That was a borderline block in the back, as was that. But both of them go uncalled because the guys didn't use their hands. And then Amendola finishes the run. The Rams are in business.
A 56-yard return by Danny Amendola. And as you can see on the top right-hand corner screen, the Bears and Lions are tied 20-20 in the 4th quarter. Steven Jackson now, as he is swallowed up after crossing the 15. Wait, what are the ramifications, Russ? We were talking about what will turn into a math equation if, in fact, the Rams win here today.
It's a strength of schedule thing, Matt. So if they both end up 2-14 and the Lions lose the game, we won't know who has the #1 pick until the end of action today. It all comes down to strength of schedule for the tiebreaker. Whoever had an easier schedule gets the #1 pick.
3 wide receivers for Bowler and the Rams, 2nd and 4. Jackson again, and why not? As he's up near the 10, about a yard and a half short of a first down.
So what they do, Matt, is they summarize the wins and losses. As you take a look at the Bears and Detroit in the upper right-hand portion of your screen, if they both end up 2-14, they aggregate all the wins and losses for all 16 opponents for both teams. Whoever had the tougher schedule will be #2 because they're considered to be the better team because they went 2-14 against a tougher schedule.
As you can see, Chicago just scored to make it a 26-20 Bears lead now, and Jackson is stopped short of the first down.
We've been talking all day about how hard it is to run against this Niners defensive line, especially when they're in their 3-4. You can hear the boos of the Rams fans as Josh Brown comes in to kick.
Well, that stingy run defense of the 49ers is able to hold, and it is Brown and the field goal unit on the field for St. Louis. Only Detroit, Oakland, and Tampa had made fewer trips to the red zone than the Rams this year. And on their first red zone trip today, they settle with 3 points. Boy, there is plenty of late drama here in Week 17 between teams that have been eliminated from postseason play for some time. And the story here in St. Louis is the Rams trailing the 49ers by just a point. While between the Bears and the Lions, Chicago has taken a 4th quarter lead. First pick in the draft is among the things at stake. This kick checks up, and it's Michael Robinson that'll take it across the 15, tackled at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 San Francisco, beginning this drive as they have many in their own 20. And that pass to Delaney Walker is caught at the 21, a gain of 5 yards. And again, the NFC playoff picture is set in terms of the participants. It's a matter of who plays who and who gets a week off that's still needed to be determined.
Well, that's the big thing, a week off. To me, I look at a bye like a win. I mean, it's a whole week you don't have to play. That's as good as a win. So that Eagles-Cowboys game coming up after this is going to be fierce.
2nd and 5 for San Francisco now. The only touchdown of the game coming here in the second half by the 49ers. And a Frank Gore dive takes it over the 25-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not the Niners go out of the gun here or if they run some type of play action.
Well, we've said this a couple of times, and clearly this was not the kind of performance that Mike Singletary was hoping for in Week 17. All the ground that the 49ers have made, they've got 3 Pro Bowlers for the first time since in over a decade, since 1997. They were playoff viable until a couple of weeks ago. Smith throwing into the corner, and there's Vernon Davis all by himself down the sideline. Touchdown, San Francisco. Vernon Davis has just tied an NFL record for touchdowns in a season by a tight end, his 13th of the year.
I can't believe the play call to begin with. 3rd and short, and it's a straight drop back. No play action by Alex Smith. He just sees Vernon Davis one-on-one running down the seam against James Butler. Davis takes it to the house to tie Antonio Gates, as you said.
A 73-yard touchdown catch and run as Shane Andrus is on for the PAT. Well, the big 73-yard touchdown reception by Vernon Davis, the longest play in his 49er career for a score, is his 13th of 2009 season.
What a weapon to have a tight end that you can split out wide, match him up man-to-man against a safety, and have him just absolutely dust that safety down the field. That's the type of speed, raw speed, that Vernon Davis has. And he even got a little faster. He said this week that after he shaved his dreadlocks, he felt faster.
Yeah, a little more aerodynamically equipped. 13 touchdowns. So it ties an NFL record, and it ties Randy Moss for the high total in the NFL this year. There's Danny Amendola to take the kick out across the 20 at a career-long 56-yard return in his last try. 1st and 10 for St. Louis now, starting here at the 22-yard line. And Kyle Boller is smoked by Justin Smith. The career high 4th sack of the game by Smith.
Look at Justin Smith, how low he is, and a 4-point stance. That's old school. Just runs a stunt there. Alex Barron and Adam Goldberg not on the same play. Barron thought he would shove him inside to Goldberg. Goldberg thought they were going to man it up. Either way, they're both wrong. And that just shouldn't happen, because both of those guys have been in the league for a long time. That's what happens when you have to be moving Goldberg all over the place.
Steven Jackson, and a flag down in the backfield. He's tackled at the 22-yard line by Mark Roman. Justin Smith, you know, back to him, the career day he's having, as we hear from Mike Carey.
Illegal hands to the face, offense number 60. Half the distance to the goal.
It's Jason Brown guilty of the infraction. But back to Justin Smith, you know, a Missouri native, University of Missouri standout collegiately.
Penalty is declined, 3rd down.
Thank you, Mike. He's back here in his home state, and this is a guy who might fly under the radar for people that don't pay a lot of attention to line play, but I know you've had some experiences with him.
Not for me. Justin Smith is an all-day sucker. Nobody likes to play against a guy like Justin Smith, because you know one thing, he is going to be relentless every single snap.
Penalty was declined, 3rd and 17 now, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Kenneth Darby.
And those are not Bruce calls from the Rams faithful. Those are now officially boos.
We've got another injured player.
It's got to be a wide receiver running their route because it was way downfield.
And it's Ravel Martin, the former Packer, who was inactive until week 13.
Those are the injuries that scare me because you have to assume that it was a non-contact injury. Otherwise, if there was contact, there would have been a penalty, although Martin looks okay as he gets up. Ooh.
Wow. Getting close to 1,000 punting yards here today, Ross.
Are we getting close to a record there?
Wow, this will be the 10th punt by Donnie Jones today, and that'll tie his career high. It's one of those records that a punter prefer leave alone. Arnaz Battle to let it check up near midfield, and the 49ers will take over at their own 48-yard line. 1st and 10, San Francisco. Smith keeps it, and there is no gain on the play as James Butler makes the stop.
I think the Niners will start to be a little bit more conservative. You got an 8-point lead over a Rams offense that hasn't been real good so far today.
Call it 2nd and 10 plus, 2nd and 11 here for San Francisco. On play action, Smith into center field to a wide open Michael Crabtree.
Or they'll throw the ball far down the field like they did right there off of play action. Again, Alex Smith throws it as he gets hit. Michael Crabtree, the inside receiver right there running down the seam, makes a nice little Olay move on Craig Dahl. Craig Dahl gets all turned around. Once again, the Niners are in the red zone. They've been successful in the red zone all season long. They're 7th in the NFL in red zone touchdown efficiency.
Vernon Davis picked up a nice block on Chris Long there as well. It's wild how 2 plays can make a 49er offense look like it's functioned well all afternoon long. The official takes a beating there as Frank Gore is stopped inside the 5, and the Rams got some help that time. Ron Bartel credited with the tackle.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often to the umpire. Take a look at it from behind. Frank Gore coming right at you. The umpire is just kind of right in the middle of all the action right there. Boom. He gets rocked from behind by number 53, Paris Lennon. But he's up and back, ready to go. He's an umpire.
Steve Wilson, the umpire down there that is no worse for the wear. Whistle back in his mouth, and he's ready to go. 1st and goal for San Francisco. Touchdown 49ers. Frank Gore and his career best 12th TD of the season.
I thought maybe the Niners would elect to throw the ball to Vernon Davis down there to get him the record, to get him the 14th touchdown. But obviously the only record they're thinking about right now is getting to 8-8, and they felt like a handoff to Frank Gore was the best way to go about that.
Of Gore's 12 TDs now, that's the 9th that has come on the ground. And the free agent addition kicker Shane Andrus is there for the point after. And San Francisco has taken a commanding 21-6 lead with 4:05 left in the season. After an extremely sluggish first half offensively, a season low 52 total offensive yards before halftime. Have come alive really on 2 big pass plays. The 73-yard catch and run by Vernon Davis, and then that big reception by Michael Crabtree, which set up the Gore touchdown run.
But that's encouraging because one of the criticisms has been that they've been a dink and dunk offense. So it's nice to see them get the ball down the field.
Danny Amendola is tackled at the 22-yard line. Well, Justin Smith has played a big role in the 49ers defensive success this season, and in particular here this afternoon.
We're talking about a guy who's starting his 138th consecutive game. And the way he plays, Matt, he's the last guy that should have that type of streak.
Yeah, that consecutive game started streak is the longest by a lineman in the NFL. There's Randy McMichael, whose number hasn't been called very often this year. That's complete out around the 30, a gain of 7.
To put Justin Smith's career starts in a row consecutive streak in perspective, number 2 on that list is Darnell Dockett, who will start his 80th game today. That's a huge spread between those two.
2nd and 3 for Bowler and the Rams offensively. And the little pass is caught in the flat by Jordan Kent. Well, Jordan Kent, formerly Seahawks property, getting a chance to play. His father, Ernie Kent, longtime head basketball coach at Oregon, and in fact was formerly the coach at St. Mary's College in Northern California.
Now that is something I did not know. Where was that?
St. Mary's College,
no,
West Coast
I can't believe
Conference
you had that much information.
You know what? I'm not good for much, seriously.
That's amazing. I thought you were a baseball and football guy. Now you got all the basketball stuff. Deshaun Goldson, the young playmaking safety, he had his chance to get another one. Comes off the edge, untouched. Bowler sees him at just the last second. Give credit to Bowler right there. The crafty vet able to elude Goldson.
How do you get out of the way of Deshaun Goldson, a.k.a. the human missile, a.k.a. destroyer, assassin, hawk? You get the idea. The guy that flies around. There's Bowler out of the shotgun. Here comes Goldson again, and this time he gets him.
Very nice of Deshaun Goldson to register that sack after we show all of his nicknames. Comes off the edge one more time. Back-to-back plays where he's untouched and able to get Bowler down.
A loss of 7 and another sack. This time it's Dre Bly.
Now I'm starting to feel bad for Kyle Bowler. There are just too many guys coming free. That is not acceptable. When guys come free in the National Football League, bad things happen. They need to do something protection-wise to get these guys picked up.
8 sacks for the San Francisco 49ers this afternoon. Bowler hit as he throws. It was Paris Harrelson that got to him that time.
Everybody's taking turns today getting a shot at Keith Noll and Kyle Bowler. This time it was Paris Harrelson at the left side of your screen working against Phil Trautwein. Just the power. Just bull rushes Trautwein to the ground and hits Bowler as he delivers it. Tough day for Kyle Bowler and Keith Noll.
We're told that the 49ers franchise record for sacks in a game is 10. 8 is their season high, clearly, here this afternoon. So San Francisco takes over on downs. Frank Gore inside the 25. And that'll likely be the final play before the 2-minute warning. The Rams have spent a timeout. Well, Coach Spags, as they call him, Ross, still coaching.
Matt, I'm not sure when he took this job, he really knew how much of a rebuilding job this would be. But as you saw on that sign, and Ndamukong Suh would certainly help.
Frank Gore running between the tackles and slipping inside the 20-yard line. Paris Lennon makes the tackle for St. Louis, and we have flags all over the field after the play.
Chris Long is very unhappy with whatever happened at the end of that play. Going to be some type of dead ball foul.
After the ball was dead, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 72 of St. Louis with a headbutt. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down, 72 is ejected.
Chris Long clearly frustrated. It's been a long season. He's the right end at the top of your screen right there, working against Chris Patrick. one of the young offensive linemen. Keep looking at him. They're still blocking him. Chris Patrick finishing the play. Can't see what happens at the end of that, but obviously, based on what Mike Carey said, Chris Long came back at Patrick with a headbutt. He was not happy with Patrick finishing that play like that. Right in the middle of your screen. Watch Chris Long come back. And yep, that is a headbutt. That's just frustration.
This is Glenn Coffey carrying toward the 5. And now the Rams will spend another timeout with 2:22 left here in the game. And that'll leave Steve Spagnuolo with 1 timeout remaining, and quite a road to hoe.
It's very rare to hear a home crowd booing a little bit when your own team calls timeout to try to preserve time on the clock. But I think that's why they're booing.
I think you're right, and I think initially there was probably some mixed emotions about whether or not the Rams were going to win this game when it was as close as 7-6, or even when they had a 3-0 lead. That #1 draft pick seemed to be something that fans saw slipping away. And now those that are still here at the Edward Jones Dome would love to see more of Isaac Bruce, I'm sure. He was here for the first snap of the game. He started. A future Hall of Famer and longtime Ram great. Gore bouncing outside and in for another 49er touchdown. Frank Gore's second of the game.
Frank Gore just cutting the ball back as the Niners continue to pour it on here in the 4th quarter. Gore will just get the ball going to his right, cuts all the way back to the left, picks up a nice block, and pretty much just walks into the end zone.
Well, so not only has Vernon Davis tied an NFL record today, but Frank Gore, with a 100-yard rushing afternoon, has tied Joe Perry's long-standing 49er record for 100 rushing yard contests. Point after is good, and it makes it 28-6 San Francisco. Well, fans reacting here in the stadium to Isaac Bruce, who's now no longer even dressed. And again, you know, Isaac Bruce has not said anything officially, Ross, but it's just widely assumed that this will be his final game as a player in the NFL.
I didn't realize, Matt, how fantastic of a player he's been until I really looked at the numbers. #2 all-time in yards, 9th in touchdowns, 5th in catches. What I love about Isaac Bruce is he's not one of those receivers that calls attention to himself. He's very understated.
And this was Isaac Bruce after being on the field for the 49ers first snap. That was his one and only play today. And I got to tell you, you won't see a more gracious exit from a future Hall of Famer in any sport, because at every turn Isaac Bruce was deferring to the younger players. He didn't want to be out there and play the entire game and take up space from a younger guy who's trying to get his feet wet in the NFL. He didn't make it all about him. There was no dramatic Isaac Bruce farewell tour. He is simply exiting as graciously as he played, and that is by tipping his cap and walking away. Danny Amendola to take the kick back at the 5-yard line as he's wrapped up at the 26. That we can say with certainty, the fact that Isaac Bruce has been a class act throughout his NFL career.
Class is a great word to describe him. I just say he's a pro's pro. That's one of the terms you use in the NFL. A guy that just goes about his business. And here's Mike Singletary coming over and giving him a hug. That is a special moment. Again, just to reiterate what we said earlier in the ball game, several Niners receivers went to Mike Singletary this week in practice and said, hey, we got to suit up Isaac Bruce. He's got to get out in the field for at least one more game.
So a nice moment in what has been a frustrating afternoon here for the St. Louis Rams. That pass is incomplete. I don't know, what did we say about 7 or 8 plays ago that would likely be the final play before the 2-minute warning? Timeouts and incomplete passes, and here we are. This will likely be the final play before the 2-minute warning.
The hope, though, is there for this franchise because they will have the #1 overall pick. And if there was ever a year, Matt, to have the #1 overall pick, this is the year. Because in Ndamukong Suh, the more people you talk to, he's the closest thing to a sure thing we've seen in years.
Chris Ogbonnaya, the ball carrier, tackled at the 25. But Russ, now that Houston has won, what impact does that have on the later games starting in a little bit?
Well, if the Cincinnati Bengals win tonight against the New York Jets, the Bengals will secure the #3 seed in the AFC. That's something that they want. Marvin Lewis talked during the week about how what he would do Sunday night would be predicated upon what happened in the Patriots game.
Boy, and the New York Football Giants, what a crash at the end of the season by Tom Coughlin and the team they call Big Blue.
Those are some ugly scores at the end, man.
Norris, the ball carrier, as he's good for a gain of a couple of yards. See the rest of those scores there from around the league. Minnesota with the big win. Carolina beats New Orleans. You got to wonder about John Fox moving forward with the Carolina Panthers.
That victory by Carolina affects these 49ers as well because they have the Panthers' first-round pick in the 2010 draft. The Niners have 2 first-rounders. So with Carolina's win today, that'll push one of those first-round picks probably to about 12 or 13.
Jacksonville's faint playoff hopes are dead as they lost in Cleveland in Week 17. Again, these are all the final scores. And keep it tuned right here and go to foxsports.com for complete clarification on the playoff picture. Today's game is being produced by Jeff Gowen, directed by Bill Webb. Our associate director is Eric Billigmeyer, and the broadcast associate is Andy Kavanaugh. Technical producer is Rod Conti, and the technical director is Brad Schaefer. The pregame show is produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. Associate director Stephanie Medina. Highlights coordinator is Janice Casaza, and the technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. Supervisor of remote field operations is Jerry Steinberg. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers Ed Gorin and David Hill. So the 2009 season ticks away here in St. Louis. Isaac Bruce will leave with a game ball after a storied NFL career that'll find him in Canton as soon as he is eligible.